Welcome, embodied ones. Welcome, remembering ones. What follows is not content. It is not commentary, performance, or theory. It is a divine transmission. This message is offered for those who have begun to understand that divine timing is not punishment, and delay is not always denial. Sometimes the waiting is not emptiness, but refinement. Sometimes the pause is teaching the body, the heart, and the field to recognize the sacred difference between immediate relief and true fulfillment. This transmission will not resonate with every field, and it is not meant to. These messages find the ones they are meant to touch. So take only what opens something true within you. Let the rest pass in peace. If this meets you as remembrance, receive it gently. If it creates dissonance, let that dissonance become inquiry before rejection. And with that, let us enter the field. Divine timing and full frequency union. Divine timing is the marshmallow test of the human experience, because the soul must learn the difference between immediate relief and divine fulfillment. The divine is not cruel. Love is not being withheld, nor is longing meant to become suffering. The marshmallow test was never truly about the marshmallow. It was about whether the being could trust that what was delayed was not denied. Whether the body could sit with desire without collapsing into urgency. Whether the nervous system could withstand the ache of wanting without grabbing for the nearest substitute. Whether the child could believe that something greater was still coming, even when the lesser thing was right there. It is one of the oldest initiations of the soul. Can you wait for what is truly yours? Can you remain faithful to the signal even when the 3D offers something almost convincing? Can you resist the counterfeit when the unmet places in you are tired? Can you grieve what never met you without making that grief your proof that love will never arrive? This is where many abandon the divine timeline. They are not unworthy, but the ache becomes loud, and loneliness begins to distort perception. Because the body remembers being unseen, untouched, unchosen, misunderstood, and almost love can feel safer than no visible love. Availability can mimic alignment when the soul is exhausted, and being wanted can temporarily soothe the wound of never being truly met. But being wanted is not the same as being recognized. Being partnered is not the same as being merged. Being chosen is not the same as being met. And being claimed in the language of devotion does not mean the field is coherent. There are unions that look holy from the outside, but are held together by image. There are marriages that are praised by families, churches, communities, and social systems, while the soul quietly starves inside them. There are partnerships decorated with vows, prayers, ceremonies, and declarations that still do not reach the depth of true merge. Not because they are meaningless, but because not all union is divine union. Not all attachment is alignment. Not all commitment is coherence. Not all earthly companionship is the sacred merge the soul remembers before incarnation. For the ones being prepared for full merge, the waiting can feel unbearable at times, because the soul already knows. It knows what it is waiting for even before the body can touch it. It recognizes the frequency before the timeline fully opens. It feels the counterpart before the meeting stabilizes. The soul can sense the union in the field before the human life has rearranged itself enough to receive it. And that is why the grief can come so powerfully. Because sometimes you are not only grieving for what has not yet arrived, you are grieving because some part of you has already touched the truth of its arrival. You are grieving the years you were never met. You are grieving the versions of yourself that accepted less because less was all that was available. You are grieving every moment your soul tried to explain its depth to someone who could only perceive the surface. You are grieving the exhaustion of being seen in fragments, the ache of being loved partially, the pain of being wanted but not understood, the fatigue of being close to people who could feel your light but could not honor your field. And then, underneath that grief, another frequency begins to rise, the preemptive knowing, the soul's relief before the event, the body sensing the future as if it has already happened, the heart remembering the one who meets it without translation, the field whispering, "This is real. This is coming. This is why nothing else was allowed to satisfy you." That kind of grief is not ordinary sadness. It is pre-union grief leaving the body. It is the old ache being rinsed from the nervous system. It is the timeline of never met beginning to dissolve as the timeline of fully received comes closer. And this is where divine timing becomes the test. Can you let grief move without using it as evidence against the promise? Can you allow the ache without rushing into the nearest arms that soften it for one night but distort it for years? Can you hold the knowing without demanding that the 3D prove it on your preferred schedule? Can you remain devoted without becoming desperate? Can you stay open without lowering the gate? Can you trust that what is yours was never yours to chase? Because what is yours does not require you to abandon your signal. What is yours does not require you to become smaller, easier, quieter, less precise, less luminous, less sovereign, less strange, less deep, less true. What is yours does not ask you to perform worthiness. It does not require contortion or competition. It does not make you beg for recognition. It does not keep you in the loop of proving, explaining, auditioning, translating, diminishing, or waiting outside the door of someone else's readiness. What is yours recognizes you, not the curated version, the softened version, the convenient version, nor the version others can digest. You. the signal beneath the body, the soul beneath the story, the frequency beneath the language, the essence you've carried even when no one around you knew how to name it. For many who are being prepared for full merge, not partial union, not earthly vows alone, not a bond maintained through performance, obligation, or image, the final initiation is trust. Trust that you are not waiting for something imaginary. Trust that your soul did not invent a love too pure to exist. Trust that the longing is not delusion when it is anchored in coherence, restraint, and remembrance. Trust that you are being prepared to be fully met, not admired from a distance, desired as an object, or chosen in fragments, not loved only where you are pleasing, available, softened, or easy to understand. Fully met. Met in the body, met in the soul, met in the field, met through a frequency so clean it begins to dissolve the illusion of separation. This is not the same as chemistry. This is not the same as attraction. This is not the same as intensity. And this is not the same as attachment. This is not the same as two wounded inner children reaching for each other and calling the relief destiny. Full merge is not hunger finding a mirror. It is coherence finding its corresponding field. Full merge is two sovereign beings recognizing the same divine current moving through different forms. It is not possession, dependency, fantasy, or performance. It is two becoming one through frequency while remaining whole in form. This is why the almost match cannot satisfy the embodied soul. The almost match may be kind, familiar, attractive. The almost match may say the right words. The almost match may even appear spiritual. But if the field does not open cleanly, if the soul does not exhale, if your body tightens around what your spirit is trying to bless, if you must negotiate yourself into being met, then something in you will know this is not it. Other bonds are not worthless nor mistakes necessarily. Some connections are meaningful, sacred, and real, but still not the architecture your soul came here to embody. There is no need to diminish the love others have found in order to remain faithful to the love your soul remembers. Some souls are here to restore the remembrance of full frequency union. And for them, partial meeting will never feel like peace. Not because they are above others, but because they are carrying a different template. If you are one of the ones carrying the remembrance of full divine union, then settling does not only affect you, it distorts the template you came to restore. Because some unions are personal, and some unions are architectural. Some unions are not just two people finding each other. They are a frequency returning to earth through the embodied meeting of two who refuse to abandon the original design. This is why the waiting has been so protected, why the wrong doors closed, why the almost could not hold, why the body rejected what the mind tried to rationalize, and why what once looked good enough began to feel impossible. The field was never being difficult. It was guarding the template. So do not allow the 3D to tempt you into believing the almost match is enough. Do not let performative marriages dissuade you. Do not let socially praised partnerships confuse you. Do not let religiously decorated unions make you question what your soul knows. Do not let God-ordained language override your own direct knowing when the field itself is not coherent. Many have settled and called it wisdom. Many have adapted and called it devotion. Many have endured and called it loyalty. Many have built lives around partial meeting because they did not yet know how to find divine union within themselves first. Bless the many still finding inner union, but do not copy what was never your template. Do not measure your promise against someone else's accommodation. Do not confuse endurance with alignment. Do not confuse visibility with sanctity. Do not confuse vows with merge. Do not confuse being chosen by a person with being met by the divine through a person. What is yours was never yours to search for in panic, never yours to alter yourself for, contort yourself around, or perform for. Never yours to beg toward, never yours to lower your frequency to receive, or make happen through force. What is yours belongs to the timeline of recognition, and recognition does not need convincing. The one aligned to meet you will not require you to abandon your signal in order to be loved. They will recognize the signal because they carry the corresponding frequency. They will not be intimidated by the depth. They will not need you to become less divine to feel safe. They will not make your clarity feel like too much. They will not treat your sensitivity as a burden. They will not consume your light while refusing your truth. They will not perform devotion while remaining divided in the field. They will meet you where the others could only orbit. And when the merge arrives, it will not feel like winning. It will not feel like proving anyone wrong. It will not feel like finally being chosen after rejection. It will feel quieter than that, holier than that, more ancient than that. It will feel like remembrance, like the body relaxing into what the soul always knew, like the nervous system realizing it no longer has to brace for partial love, like every counterfeit becoming irrelevant without hatred, like every delay suddenly making sense without needing to be explained, like the soul exhaling after lifetimes of holding its breath. And you will finally understand the waiting was not empty, not abandonment nor punishment. The waiting was the final chamber where the soul learned it would no longer betray itself for temporary comfort. It was the place where desire became devotion, longing became discernment, and where grief became purification, where faith became embodied, where the child who wanted the marshmallow now learned to trust the feast, because the divine was never asking you to go without love. The divine was teaching you not to confuse crumbs with covenant, not to confuse contact with communion, attachment with assignment, or being held for a moment with being met for a lifetime. So to the ones in the waiting chamber, let yourself cry, let the grief move, let the ache speak, and let the body release every memory of being almost loved, almost chosen, almost understood, almost safe. But do not build a home inside the grief. Do not let the ache become a prophecy of absence. Do not let the delay convince you that the promise was false. And do not let the world's partial templates make you ashamed of your knowing. You are not waiting for fantasy. You are waiting for coherence and recognition. You are waiting for the field to open where nothing in you has to shrink to enter. And when it comes, it will not arrive as a reward for suffering, but as confirmation of remembrance. For the soul, the body, and the field will know, and something ancient within you will finally whisper, "This is why I waited." Ashe, Amen, Selah. Let light bear witness. For the ones who made it to the end, this will not resonate with everyone, and it is not meant to. Not because anyone is less worthy of love, or one path is holier than another, but because not every soul is in the same initiation. And not every nervous system has yet learned to distinguish longing from urgency, attachment from recognition, or availability from alignment. Some will receive this through the lens of fantasy. Some will receive this through the wound of disappointment. Some will receive this through the conditioning that says love is proven by effort, proximity, marriage, endurance, or external validation. And some will know exactly what this is naming, because divine timing is where awareness becomes participation. It is easy to observe your patterns when nothing tender is being tested. It is easy to speak of sovereignty when desire is not pressing against the body. And it is easy to name coherence when the field is calm. But when the soul longs for union, when the body aches to be met, held, chosen, recognized, remembered, this is where awareness must become embodied choice. This is where divine timing reveals whether we are only conscious of the pattern or whether we are ready to stop participating in what distorts it. Because divine timing is the marshmallow test of the human experience. The waiting is not emptiness. It is a chamber of refinement, teaching the soul to recognize the sacred difference between what soothes the longing and what fulfills the whole field. And for those carrying the remembrance of full frequency union, this distinction becomes sacred. Not everyone is being asked to wait in the same way. Not everyone is being asked to hold the same template. Not everyone is being prepared for the same architecture of merge. So, let this pass in peace if it does not meet you. But if something in your body exhales, aches, trembles, softens, or becomes strangely still, receive that as information. Let it meet you only where it is meant to. Let it pass where it does not belong. Not everything delayed is absent. Not everything unseen is unreal. Not every ache requires immediate relief. Some longings are not meant to be silenced by the nearest comfort. Some longings are holy coordinates. They are the soul's way of refusing to forget what it came here to embody. If this transmission meant something true in you, thank you for walking here. If you feel called to remain in this field, you are welcome to subscribe, share, leave a reflection, or support this channel in whatever way Spirit nudges you. Some will offer prayer, presence, embodiment, or earthly support. Whatever is offered in sincerity is received with reverence, returned in love, and multiplied through the field. May what is truly yours remain steady in your knowing, even before it becomes visible. May the almost lose its power to impersonate what is sacred. May your body learn the difference between urgency and truth. And may what is lawful for your field find you cleanly, fully, and without distortion. Ashe. Amen. Selah.